You're watching Choice TV, the people's choice for TV. This segment of the news brought to you by Bank of St. Lucia, all the bank you need.
Hello everyone, welcome to Choice News Now Prime. I'm Shane Cherry. Watch the broadcast live on our Choice TV Facebook page, Choice TV SLU, and our YouTube channel at Choice TV St. Lucia, or listen to the simulcast through on Liberty Radio 92.3 FM. In the news tonight, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force urges motorists to remove expired registration stickers from their vehicles. A historical treasure hunt invites St. Lucians to explore emancipation legacy and national heritage. Peter & Company Auto showcases fuel efficiency and hybrid vehicles at a two-day sales event. And in news from the region, Guyana opposition leader urges peaceful protests during the vice president's visit to Linden. In our top story tonight, for years, motorists have shared the belief that keeping old registration stickers plastered across their windshields is a sign of compliance or proof of a vehicle's licensing history. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is reminding motorists that only a vehicle's current registration sticker is required to be displayed on the windshield. The clarification comes as police seek to dispel the misconception that expired stickers should remain in place, noting that removing outdated decals improves visibility and allows officers to quickly verify a vehicle's registration status during routine traffic checks and enforcement operations. Kishana Smith begins our newscast.
Under St. Lucia's Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Act, registered vehicles are issued with a valid registration and licensing sticker as part of the registration process, which shall be displayed in the lower left-hand corner of the windshield of a motor vehicle, ensuring they can be readily inspected by enforcement officers. Over the years, however, many motorists have adopted the practice of retaining registration stickers from long past years on their windshields, transforming what was once a straightforward symbol of legal compliance into a layered mosaic of colors and dates. Yet officials of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force have issued a stern warning, emphasizing to motorists that registration stickers are far more than decorative additions to a vehicle's windshield, but rather serve as an important enforcement tool that allows officers to quickly determine whether a vehicle is legally registered and licensed to operate on St. Lucia's roads.
Under the Motor Vehicles and Third Party Risks Act and regulations, it specifies that a sticker is to be displayed on the lower left-hand corner of the motor vehicle. That display is in a conspicuous location so that police officers and other law enforcement officers can identify the current situation as it relates to the insurance and registration of a motor vehicle.
Although it may appear to be a minor issue, Lamontine emphasized that the proper placement of the vehicle registration sticker is a legal requirement. He noted that displaying the sticker incorrectly could constitute an offense under the law.
It may be deemed an offense specifically under Section 23 of the Driving Code if drivers or vehicle owners are displaying the sticker in areas above that left-hand corner. Reason being, it may affect the visibility of the driver of the motor vehicle in identifying or having a clear view of the road.
He further took the opportunity to discourage motorists from displaying expired stickers on their windshields. Officers are urging motorists to ensure that only the current and valid registration sticker is prominently displayed, allowing law enforcement personnel to immediately verify a vehicle's legal status during routine patrols and traffic checks, noting that it can be deemed an offense.
We should take this opportunity to inform drivers to dissuade from the display of expired stickers in that fashion along their motor vehicles. And we have had instances where police officers have ticketed drivers for tint because of the affixing that entire row of expired stickers on the motor vehicle.
Police say the purpose of the sticker is practical rather than cosmetic. It provides officers with an instant visual indication that a vehicle is properly licensed for the current registration period, reducing the need for unnecessary stops while improving the efficiency of traffic enforcement. Motorists are therefore being encouraged to remove outdated decals that may create confusion and to ensure that their current registration sticker is clearly visible on the vehicle's windshield in accordance with the law. For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.
Residents of Babono are being invited to help shape the future of the island's water resources through a series of community consultations on the Water for Resilience project. Meetings on Wednesday and Thursday will focus on tackling water shortages, supply disruptions, soil erosion, and watershed degradation within the Marquis watershed. Incoming Babono Constituency Council Chair Michael Gaspar says community participation will be key to the project's success. Phoebe Popo reports.
Dry season, water scarcity, and eroding riverbanks continue to threaten livelihoods of Babono's farmers and residents. In response, community stakeholders are gathering to launch the United Nations Development Programme's Water for Resilience project within the Marquis watershed. Crucial to systems like Hill 20, scheduled to take place on August 5th and 6th at the Babono Secondary School and Lage Primary School, the Watershed Initiatives invites local residents to learn about upcoming interventions, share their insights, and help drive solutions from the ground up. Incoming Chair of the Babono Constituency Council, Michael Gaspard, provides further insight on the ongoing project.
The Marquis Watershed Project is exceptionally important because for a long time the Babono community had never faced the kind of water crisis that we are experiencing at this present time. And so I think although the project was conceptualized a long time ago, but it appears that it's only now that we are seeing the effects of the water problem.
Michael Gaspard discussed the water challenges affecting Babono and communities across St. Lucia, while outlining residents can play an active role in supporting the Water for Resilience project.
Aujourd'hui, nous attendons à Babono, c'est pour garder qui manière nous ça vivre, mener la vie en laivia, bay laivia, vie bay laivia la vie. Puisque pour le moment, c'est laivia machi, nous avons crié laivia machi est mort. Laivia machi commencé en bas forestier pour arriver jic machi. Bon laivia ça là a commencé en bas forestier, qui a passé fond à Sobo, Gisek arrivé en forestier, en machi avec toutes ces places-là côté forêt Laivia Kale, nous voulons planter bagaille à sous côté banque Laivia, à ça nous a dit en banque Laivia en grande distance, pas tout pour Laivia même, mais grande distance pour garder si le monde ça comprend et apprécier ces plans ça là nivaler pour ces plans ça là ça aider Laivia vivre qu'on était avant pour bailler de l'eau puisque pour le moment Laivia sec, Jean Babono ka play wage.
The incoming chair of the Babono Constituency Council describes the seriousness of the island's water challenges and called on residents to play an active role in supporting solutions, stressing that community involvement will be critical to the success of the Water Resilience project. Reporting for Choice News Now, I am Phoebe Popo.
As St. Lucia's festival season continues, attention is shifting from post-event cleanup to the bigger challenge of sustainable event management. With growing concerns over pollution and waste, stakeholders are exploring how the island can transform its approach to large public events and position itself as a regional leader in environmentally responsible entertainment. Sienna Dalson reports.
On the heels of St. Lucia's greatest festivals, Lucian Carnival and the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival, in the midst of emancipation celebrations and ahead of the island's hosting of a series of Caribbean Premier League T20 games and Creole Heritage Month celebrations, a local waste management entrepreneur is calling on event organizers to aim for industry leadership through sustainable strategies. Laura John hopes to tap into the potential in events to scale up the operations of Joie Kali Limited, a sustainable waste management social enterprise that she leads as its founder and CEO.
We have been speaking about establishing St. Lucia as an events capital in the region, and I think I would even like to be more ambitious and potentially say, why not become a sustainable events leader in the Caribbean, where we're setting the standard and at the forefront of what it means to actually have a mass event that can have positive environmental impacts, not negative.
She analogized mass crowd events to mini cities, placing waste management as an imperative before and during the event, rather than a matter to be addressed in the aftermath.
All of these events that are going to attract large numbers of people into one small geographic space for a limited amount of time, if in effect are operating like a temporary city, because you have businesses, workers, you have everyone kind of demanding services, you have large volumes of material flowing through that space, you have public transportation, or just transportation generally, transportation routes that need to be coordinated, public infrastructure that's being used, supply chain, procurement, I mean, the list goes on.
In demonstrating the creativity needed to promote environmentally friendly crowd behavior, John pointed to the unique skill set possessed by event organizers to make an impact.
A good design will make it, that makes it so much easier for people to, you know, behave in a certain way, is really what can help move us at a much faster pace to actually getting people to practice sustainable behaviors. And I think events in and of themselves are generally masters at this because they know how to create an experience.
This call comes not only at a time of growth for St. Lucia's entertainment industry, but also at a time when the Caribbean region is being called upon to develop expertise in climate resilience and sustainable development, with a view to export original solutions. While Joie Kali Limited hopes to take advantage of this opportunity to scale whilst advocating for the inclusion of recyclers and environmental volunteer groups, it also presents a theatre for event organizers to increase the scope of sustainable approaches that they take to staging St. Lucia's already anticipated and beloved festivals. For Choice News Now, I am Sienna Dalsaw.
The Division of Public Sector Modernization and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force are warning the public about a fraudulent text message claiming recipients have received a traffic ticket. The message directs users to a fake Digigov website and instructs them to make a payment in what authorities say is an attempt to steal personal and financial information. Officials stress that the message is a scam and urge the public not to click on any links or provide personal details. Digigov reminds users that it will never request passwords, banking information, or other sensitive personal data through unsolicited text messages or emails. Anyone who receives the message is advised to delete it immediately, report it to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, and avoid engaging with the sender. Members of the public should access their Digigov account only through the official website at digigov.govt.lc and remain vigilant against suspicious online activity designed to defraud unsuspecting users. We'll have more details on this scam alert in a subsequent broadcast. And coming up, a historical treasure hunt invites St. Lucians to explore emancipation legacy and national heritage. And Peter & Company Auto showcases fuel-efficient and hybrid vehicles at a two-day sales event. The stories and more coming up after the break. Stay with us. The news continues.
It's all about you and the dreams you believed. how you made your way ahead, all the goals you have achieved.
All along the way, you've been a partner so true. All the way you've seen me through.
We're all the bank you need. It's still about you and the life you're shaping now. All the doors that open wide, every step, every vow.
All along the way, you'll be a partner so true. All the way you've seen me through.
We're all the bank you need. We're the Bank of St. Lucia, so bank on your future. We're the Bank of St. Lucia, all the bank you need.
Celebrating 25 years strong. Bank of St. Lucia, all the bank you need.
Massey Store's waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Store's City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Welcome back. St. Lucians will have a unique opportunity to explore the island's history through an interactive adventure as part of the 2026 Emancipation Celebrations. Hosted by the Cultural Development Foundation, the Historical Treasure Hunt invites participants to discover St. Lucia's emancipation story through a series of heritage-themed challenges. The island-wide event, themed Understanding Our Past to Create a Pathway for the Future, takes place on August 15th, beginning at the CDF grounds on Barnard Hill. Phoebe Popo tells us more.
As St. Lucia continues its month-long emancipation observations under the theme Understanding Our Past to Create a Pathway for the Future, history is stepping off the textbook page and into the streets. On Saturday, August 15th, the Cultural Development Foundation is bringing local heritage to life with the Emancipation Historical Treasure Hunt. The event aims to merge physical endurance with historical discovery, offering a hands-on way for St. Lucians to reconnect with their freedom story. Head of the Communications Department at the Cultural Development Foundation, Kendall John, provided further insight into the activity.
Last year, we had the inaugural Emancipation Historical Treasure Hunt, and it was so well received. It's come out, workmates, a number of different groups and associations coming together to take on the challenge. Of course, the winner goes home with $5,000.
John emphasized the vital importance of knowing St. Lucian history, encouraging persons, especially the youth, to grow an appreciation for our St. Lucian heritage.
History should not be only on textbooks and pages. We find that many times when you use only that as a means of teaching, as a tool, people forget. But you never forget that time when you went out to the estate and you actually looked around and saw the ruins. These things is indelibly marked in our minds. And so we thought that this would be definitely a better way for people to remember those situations, those incidents in our history that's of importance to us.
Following the event, the hope is that it will become a lasting tradition, bringing people together to discover, experience, and celebrate St. Lucia's rich history.
We want to continue this event. I think it's a very, very effective way of getting St. Lucians, especially the young ones, to remember important dates, important events in St. Lucia's history. And so we don't think we're going to ever stop this because, again, whatever works, we want to continue it. And I think St. Lucians need to learn about their history and their heritage. And whatever way we can find an effective way to do that, we'll continue doing so.
Ultimately, the Cultural Development Foundation hopes this treasure hunt will reignite a passion for St. Lucian history while strengthening camaraderie across the island. The CDF is urging everyone, especially the youth, to visit their social media pages at CDF St. Lucia to register and participate and turn this unique blend of fun and learning into an island-wide celebration of shared heritage. The treasure hunt kicks off from the CDF grounds on August 15th from 6 a.m. Reporting for Choice News Now, I am Phoebe Popo.
The global reparations movement received renewed attention during the President of Ghana's visit to Jamaica. In discussions with the Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, the two leaders examined misconceptions surrounding reparations, the lasting effects of slavery and colonialism, and opportunities to strengthen South-South partnerships in advancing justice, recognition, and development for people of African descent. Sienna Dalsa reports.
On Monday, the 3rd of August, the Office of the Jamaican Prime Minister and the University of the West Indies hosted a special high-level reparation dialogue between the President of Ghana, His Excellency John Mahama, and Professor Dr. Hilary Beckles, UE Vice-Chancellor and Chair of the CARICOM Reparations Committee. The event's presenters, including UE, Jamaican and Ghanaian government officials, foregrounded the shared histories, developmental and human rights agendas pursued by both nations through reparations. According to Mahama, whilst in conversation with Beckles, the UN's declaration of the trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity championed by Ghana attracted some unlikely parties to the reparations negotiating table.
I think that some of them have started to open up, which is a good sign. After the resolution passed, many of the countries that abstained have quietly reached out, and some publicly have reached out and said, look, we didn't vote for because we had some objections, this objection or the other, but fine. But we're ready to engage.
Speaking on the invention of racism as an economic and socio-political ideology, Mahama emphasized the need for enslavers to make room within the consciences of Christian Europeans to deem slavery and racism ethical by deeming Africans inferior to themselves.
These were Christian nations, and so they had to make sure that their souls were not going to damnation because of slavery. And so all the papal bulls and the theological writings and edicts that made it okay that you could enslave a person and that it had nothing to do with your soul going to paradise. You will still make heaven, however you treat this, subhuman thing. And that's how come the churches also got involved, not only in terms of creating the theological edicts, but also in owning plantations with slaves.
Beckles identified the successful whitewashing of the history of enslavement as the biggest challenge to public education on reparatory justice.
I have a file that is about 6 inches thick with correspondence from the British government. The government, Whitehall, sending letters out to Elmina to instruct the British military that the following chiefs are obstructing the trade and you must assassinate them, get rid of them. So we have the data of the British government sending messages to Africa that any chief or those chiefs who have been, or kings who have been blocking and fighting against the trade, they must be exterminated.
With Jamaica having proposed the designation of the year 1968 as the International Year for Human Rights with support from Ghana, the continued partnership to advance reparatory justice is viewed as a continuation along that trajectory of pushing the limits of what's possible through and for the humanity of the descendants of formerly enslaved peoples. For Choice News Now, I am Sienna Dalso.
Tonight on Port Profile, we bring you the latest update on the transformation of the Vendors Arcade at Port Castries. Find out how the redevelopment project is progressing, what vendors can expect, and how the upgraded facility is set to enhance the visitor experience while creating new opportunities for local entrepreneurs.
It is July 2026 and we are standing at Phase 1 of the redeveloped Vendors Arcade. The redesigned arcade will now see 120 stalls for our vendors, including a food and beverage kiosks. Vendors will now operate within 5 broad categories: apparel and accessories, crafts and artisan goods, food and beverage, specialty services, including braiding as well as massages, and souvenirs and gifts. This will also include a tender jetty, where of course dayboat tours as well as dayboat charters are able to pick up their passengers with ease, and of course providing tendering services for vessels that are anchored out at sea. Now passengers who are now disembarking the vessels will filter through La Place Carénage and directly into the vendors arcade, increasing more opportunities for vendors to sell their products as well as the different service offerings that they may have. The redesigned vendors arcade will be completed ahead of the 2026-2027 cruise season. The arcade will continue to be managed under the Castries Constituency Council, and we are so excited to welcome our vendors into this brand new space.
This is Choice News Now Prime. More news coming up after the break. Stay with us.
We conducted a customer walkthrough exercise at the vendors arcade. In so being, we are able to understand from a customer point of view exactly what the experience would be like for both passengers as well as our locals. Here we were able to outline the positives and the benefits that they would be receiving, as well as our shortfalls and how we can improve when we are relocating to the new vendors arcade facility. The vendors are very excited and they are very receptive. They are working with us, and they are also outlining some issues that they may be experiencing as well that we may not necessarily see. In so doing, we are now able to provide an elevated experience for our passengers as well as our locals in the new facility. Things such as signage, for example. We are currently under phase 1 of the project, and we hope to have construction completed by the end of 2026.
Police try to be my hawati by. Mo fi me stay son of match. People who know me look at me as being a humble little guy, you know.
Show up, I mean, lady. Mad is a kuma se mai mun kwa hai.
Moi, hello, excuse me, I'm back.
Voice of the People. Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Choice TV.
Welcome back. With fuel costs continuing to shape consumers' purchasing decisions, Peter & Company Auto has launched a 2-day grand sales event highlighting fuel-efficient and hybrid vehicles. The event gives prospective buyers an opportunity to explore cost-saving transportation options while learning about the latest hybrid technology and financing solutions aimed at making vehicle ownership more affordable and accessible. Kishana Smith reports.
Rising fuel prices continue to influence purchasing decisions, with more motorists seeking vehicles that offer greater fuel efficiency. Responding to the shift in consumer demand, Peter & Company Auto profited from the launch of its recently launched Grand Sales event to showcase a range of fuel-efficient and hybrid vehicles while expanding buyer options. Held on Wednesday, August 5th, 2026 at the William Peter Boulevard, the event featured models from the dealership's Nissan, Chery and GAC lineups. The display highlighted EV, hybrid and conventional fuel-efficient vehicles, reflecting the growing interest among local buyers in more economical transportation solutions. Sales executive of the Peter & Company Limited, Lynbert Remy, provided a brief overview of the day's activities and highlighted the featured vehicles up for consideration.
Today we're down here in the boulevard with our companions, Republic Bank, and we're showing off what we have available to the public in St. Lucia. Right now we have our brands ranging from fully electric GAC, so we have the Ion V and the Ion UT, fully electric, and then our internal combustion models, the GAC M Zoom and the M Co. Moving on to Chery, 100% hybrid, so you have the Tiggo 4, then the Tiggo 7, which is a plug-in hybrid, the Tiggo 8, which is also a plug-in hybrid. And then we're moving on to our one of our other brands, the Nissan brand, which offers hybrid in terms of the e-Power X-Trail, diesel power, the frontier pickups, and gas engine vehicles, Nissan Qashqai.
Remy further underscored the importance of the initiative, noting that it responds to the increasing demand for fuel-efficient vehicles in St. Lucia while promoting more cost-effective transportation choices.
We have our Chery models, the hybrid vehicles. We know that most of the institutions, they give preferred financing on those models, as well as insurance companies, you get preferred financing as well for your insurance coverage. So the Tiggo Cross, you're talking about 800 kilometers on a full full charge and a full tank of gas. Then the plug-in hybrids, the range goes from 1,000 kilometers all the way up to 1,400 kilometers on a full tank of gas and fully charged.
Presented in partnership with Republic Bank EC Limited, the initiative also sought to make vehicle ownership more accessible through easy and affordable financing opportunities.
Our core involvement here is to offer accessible financing. That is something that is dear to us here at Republic Bank, because we wanted to ensure that we execute an activity where we were meeting the public. And what better way to do that than to block off the boulevard and, be able to meet passers-by and say, look, we have accessible financing for you, we have amazing rates being offered to you, and all you have to do is have a quick conversation with us and get started.
The grand sales event continues on Friday, August 7th, 2026 in Viewfort at the Republic Bank parking lot, where motorists in the south of the island will have the opportunity to explore the dealership's range of fuel-efficient and hybrid vehicles. Representatives from Republic Bank EC Limited will also be on site to provide information on the financing options available, making it easier for prospective buyers to purchase a new vehicle. Peter & Company Auto says it remains committed to meeting the evolving needs of consumers by offering a diverse selection of its vehicles, ranging from traditional fuel-powered models to its recently introduced hybrid lineup. For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.
Government agencies and national partners are strengthening their response to snakebite prevention and public safety through a new collaborative initiative in Millet. During a multi-agency planning meeting, stakeholders finalized preparations for the Community Snake Handler Pilot Project and the Community Cleanup Campaign scheduled for August 11th, aimed at improving environmental management and reducing the risk of human-snake encounters. We have more in this report.
Government agencies and national partners have strengthened collaboration on snakebite prevention, environmental management and public safety through a multi-agency planning meeting held at the Forestry Conference Room. The meeting advanced preparations for the Community Snake Handlers Pilot Project, including a community cleanup action scheduled for 11th August 2026 at the Tetshime Community Center in Millet. Convened by the Division of Forestry and Land Resource Development, the meeting brought together representatives from the Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food Security, the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Nutrition, the St. Lucia National Trust, and other stakeholders to coordinate responsibilities and finalize plans. Permanent Secretary in the Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food Security, Bradley Sentage, emphasized the importance of coordinated action across agencies.
The success of this initiative depends on effective collaboration across government and with our communities. The Forestry Division will provide technical leadership and program coordination, while our partner ministries and agencies will contribute according to their respective mandates and areas of expertise. Agriculture Extension, Environmental Health, the Ministry of Health, Solid Waste, the Ministry responsible for social transformation, local government, all have an important part to play in the rollout of these programs.
Conservation Officer at the St. Lucia National Trust, Melina Murray, emphasized the critical need for greater public awareness and education about the island's snake species.
A lot more education, public awareness needs to be done regarding the snake species in St. Lucia. A lot of people are not able to identify. Now, many people may say, if I see a snake, I'm not going to look to see what type it is. I will just look to kill. But sometimes trying to kill the snake may be more detrimental to you as an individual. So I think, again, public awareness is very critical on knowing our different snake species in St. Lucia.
Senior Medical Officer within the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Nutrition, Dr. Delphina Werner, reminded the public that prompt medical treatment is critical following a venomous snake bite.
The Ministry of Health wants the public to know that the definitive treatment for snake bite from a venomous snake, such as the Fudulus that we have in St. Lucia, is the administration of antivenom. However, antivenom use comes with specific measures that need to be taken to ensure that it is done safely. For this reason, we in St. Lucia administer antivenom only at our secondary and tertiary care facilities, which are our hospitals, the St. Jude Hospital and the OKEU Hospital at the Millennium Heights Medical Complex, as well as Tapia Hospital. Giving antivenom in those facilities ensures that you have the supporting services that may become necessary during the administration process. Persons may develop severe allergic reactions which can result in death. As a result, you need to have your ICU support, you need to have your specialists, you need to have all of the resuscitation medications. There are many things that you need. You need lab services. These components are only available at our hospitals.
Senior Environmental Health Officer Glenda Etienne Sipal highlighted the importance of environmental sanitation in reducing snake habitats.
One of the things we understand is that, for example, rats, the increasing the presence of rats is what would possibly attract the snakes into a particular area. And from a vector control standpoint, we are going to bring our expertise to the ground, to the millet area, so that we can provide that level of assistance from an environmental health standpoint.
The initiative forms part of government's broader commitment to protecting public health, conserving biodiversity, and enhancing community resilience through coordinated evidence-based interventions. From the Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food Security, Chevroy Marius.
The news continues after the break. PR Daily. Stay with us.
Massey Store's waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Store's City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
If you suffer with pain from fibromyalgia, lupus, sickle cell anemia, sciatica, or arthritis, Lockley DeCoste doctor specialists from overseas in St. Lucia will diagnose and treat patients who have been suffering long. Lockley DeCoste specialists will treat the symptoms of stroke, brain injuries, spinal cord injuries with shoulders, elbows, knees, back, and neck pain, even plantar fasciitis being a pain of the past. Lockley DeCoste specialists in St. Lucia EMG tests will measure the damage in neuromuscular disorders and diabetic neuropathy, because Lockley DeCoste doctor specialist provides proper diagnosis using the most effective treatment for you to live free of pain.
Courts presents their 2026 All-Range event. Be inspired at all Court stores nationwide. Come see what's new in everyday furniture and appliances. Get a chance to win an Indorama 30-inch stove with appliance purchase of $5,999 or more. Great deals on TVs and wall mounts. Everyday great value on mattresses. Bedroom bundle deals up to 25% off. Be inspired at the Courts 2026 All-Range event. Affordable convenience for your home. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Offer ends July 25th, 2026. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to Choice News Now Prime. Here's PR Daily with Kishana Smith.
Welcome to PR Daily, your trusted source with the latest press releases, important announcements, community initiatives, and events. I am your presenter, Kishana Smith. The St. Lucia Social Development Fund, SSDF, pulled its staff away from desks and paperwork on Friday for a day of games, races, and physical challenges. 96 employees from across the agency gathered at the Passios playing field for the organization's first ever sports day. More in this report.
Nearly 100 workers at the St. Lucia Social Development Fund spent Friday competing in relay races, football, and tug-of-war instead of their usual office routines. The agency's first staff sports day drew 96 admin and field staff to Passios playing field for a full day of team challenges. Staff was split into 4 color-coded teams: Liberate, Inspire, Resilient, and Empower. The event followed weeks of preparation, including office challenges, designed to build excitement ahead of the main day.
Okay, I believe this is very important, as I said, to bring staff together. And we've seen a lot of improvements in terms of communications between the staff, at work, the admin staff, where people who don't usually speak, they've become more conversational, more interactive with each other. People are actually smiling more, and just excited. They were so excited for the challenges, and now everybody's so excited to be here, and it's just a really good sight to see.
The coordinator says the lead-up included a desk decorating contest and a puzzle styles challenge that sent staff searching the office for clues.
So today is a combination of fun sports, as well as we have 3 sprint events. So we have fun sports such as lime and spoon, needle and thread, sack race. We have an obstacle course where we'll be utilizing the outdoor gym here at Passier's playing field. We also have water balloon toss. We have fill the bottle. We have a 60-meter race. We also have a 4x60 meter relay.
The day's schedule ran from early morning registration through a march past, warm-up drills, relay races, a football knockout competition, and track events, closing with a tug-of-war and group photo. Staff say the goal extends past the day itself.
The entire gist of and raison d'etre for the sports day is for everybody to come together and foster a better work environment, a closer camaraderie among persons that work at SSDA. The motto of the sports day is recharge, reconnect, reignite, and after the sports day, we need to carry that forward into our workplace.
The monitoring and evaluation officer says the event gave colleagues from different departments a chance to connect in person.
But at the end of the day, everybody has to have a good time, and everybody has to come back to work feeling refreshed, reconnected, and reignited.
Organizers say they want the day's spirit to carry into how staff work together going forward.
The National Council of and for Persons with Disabilities, Inc. NCPD has elected a new board of directors to serve from 2026 to 2028 during its annual general meeting held at the Coconut Bay Resort on Sunday, August 2nd. Antonia Stixie, widely known as the Blind Farmer, was elected president. He will be joined by Kevin Jabatis as first vice president and Miguel Doyle as second vice president. The remaining board members are Carissa Innocent, youth representative Juliana Francis, trustee with disability, and Natasha Joseph, trustee without disability. The 9-member board includes 4 women and 5 men, with 8 members being persons with disabilities, reflecting the organization's commitment to inclusive leadership and ensuring that persons with disabilities remain at the forefront of its advocacy and decision-making efforts. The election process was overseen by Gregory Setage. In other news, the Department of Equity, Social Justice, Gender and Older Persons notifies clients of the Public Assistance Program PAP of Babuno, Castries, Grosili, Sanssouci and Millet regions that payments for the month of July 2026 commence Wednesday, August 5th to Friday, August 7th at the Post Office, Conway Business Center, Waterfront, Castries from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. For further information, please contact the Ministry at telephone number 468-5103 and 454-6478. And that's all for today's edition of PR Daily. If you have a press release that you want to share with our audience, send us an email at news.choicemedianetwork@gmail.com. Thank you for watching PR Daily, and do stay tuned for more news and updates. Back to you, Sheen.
Thank you, Kishana. Let's now take a look at the local weather forecast.
Mrs. Modest, your business is strong, but this expansion is way too ambitious.
We will be far more comfortable with a smaller fees.
It's not the business, it's the scale. Maybe reduce the scope?
Mrs. Modeste, we love your vision, and we have the right loan product to bring it to life.
When your plans are bigger and bolder and others don't see you, BOSL Elite Builders Capital Plus gives you the backing to move ahead. With 5% interest, up to 15 years to repay, 20% down, and a credit card of up to $100,000. BOSL Elite Builders Capital Plus, bringing bigger plans to life.
Advertise to a captive audience. Make your business a star with Choice TV. Call today for your advertising package. Make the right choice. Call 728-9652.
Massey Stores Waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Stores City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Welcome back. Here's Sienna Dalson with our regional news package.
Welcome to the regional news package. I'm your presenter, Sienna Dalso. In Guyana, the opposition leader has called on Linden residents to peacefully demonstrate during a visit by the Vice President, Bharat Jagdeo, over delays in selecting local government leaders and lack of response to flood risks. We hear more from HGP TV's Javon Vickery.
Vice President Bharat Jagdeo is expected to be met with a peaceful protest outside Watuka House on Tuesday, after opposition leader Azruddin Mohammed called on Region 10 residents to demonstrate during his visit. Mohammed urged Lindeners to attend the August 4 protest with relatives, friends, and neighbors, saying that the region must demand democratic representation, government accountability, and better treatment. He repeatedly called for the demonstration to remain peaceful. The opposition leader invoked past remarks attributed to Jagdeo, suggesting that political leaders should be met with protests wherever they travel.
Now, wherever you and your government go, you must be met with protests. It is time for Region 10 to be treated fairly. It is time for Region 10 to be respected. It is time for the people of Region 10 to receive the justice and representation they deserve.
Among the issues raised was the continued absence of an elected regional chairman and vice chairman nearly a year after the elections. Mohammed alleged that the regional executive officer had failed to convene the statutory meeting required to complete the selection process.
Almost 1 year after you voted, Region 10 remains the only region without an elected regional chairman and vice chairman, because the government-appointed REO has refused to call the meeting.
Mohammed also criticized the government's response to flooding in Kwakwani and communities along the Demerara River. He argued that residents required strong drainage, more effective emergency assistance, and long-term measures to protect their homes and livelihoods.
Many residents were abandoned when they needed their government most. And while Guyanese continue to ask difficult questions about the corruption and mismanagement, Bharat Jagdeo became absent and silent and stopped his weekly press conferences.
Mohammed said the planned protests would bring those concerns together under a broader demand for respect, accountability, and democratic representation. He appealed to Linden's long history of political activism, describing the town as a community that has repeatedly stood up for its rights. Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago has responded via social media to opposition criticisms of her plans to increase police and army presence in communities affected by crime. Prasad Bissessa spoke to the strategies behind the policy and condemned the influences of drug traffickers and gangs within the nation's communities. We hear more from TV6 News TNT's Urvashi Tirari Rupnarayan.
The Prime Minister has dismissed criticism of the new security initiative, arguing that increased law enforcement is needed in communities affected by gang violence and violent crime. She also accused the opposition of opposing measures intended to strengthen national security and reduce criminal influence in vulnerable communities. She wrote to Facebook saying, quote, "Why complain about the 13 new joint army police posts across the country when you should be complaining about the drug blocks that your local drug mafia friends are running across the country, poisoning our children," end quote. Prasad Visasa went on to defend the deployment strategy, maintaining that the security posts are being placed where they are needed the most. She argued that communities with long-standing crime challenges deserve greater protection and support from the security services. She said, quote, "They are against the joint army police posts, against American security assistance, and they do and say everything to allow the local drug mafia to destroy PNM strongholds with illegal drugs and violence," end quote. The Prime Minister also accused the opposition of failing to support efforts to combat organized crime and claimed political attacks have overshadowed the government's crime-fighting agenda. She ended her statement by condemning what she described as racial hostility directed at her administration. Prasad Visasa said, quote, "PNM MPs and supporters are so full of hatred and racism that they would prefer their stronghold constituencies and their children's future to continue to be destroyed by the local drug mafia rather than cooperate with the security services and the coolie Prime Minister," end quote. The Prime Minister's comments came after opposition leader Penelope Beckles questioned the legal authority, funding and implementation of the government's plan to establish 30 joint police and army posts across the country. Urvashi Tumori Rupnarayan, TV6 News.
The U.S. Embassy in Grenada could soon close its doors as Washington moves to restructure its diplomatic network, raising fresh concerns about the future of U.S.-Grenada relations. We hear more from Shania McIntosh with GBN News.
The U.S. government is planning to close its embassy in Grenada as part of a cost-cutting and restructuring effort by the State Department. The embassy in St. George's is the only full U.S. embassy among 5 diplomatic posts worldwide targeted for closure. This move follows a series of U.S. policy changes affecting Grenada, such as the introduction of permanent visa bans for Grenadian travelers and the U.S. request to install radar equipment on the island. However, officials from both countries have not directly linked these developments to the closure plan. The State Department has not announced a closure date or explained how embassy services for Grenadians and Americans would be handled if the post shuts down. Currently, most visa services for Grenadians are processed through the U.S. Embassy in Barbados, but the loss of the St. George's Embassy would mean less direct support for U.S. citizens living in Grenada. News of the looming closure comes on the heels of the August 3rd implementation of the permanent U.S. visa bonds program, which requires select nationals to pay a bond of up to $20,000 US before being granted a visa. Grenada is one of the 4 Caribbean nations affected by the visa bond program. The decision also comes at a time when Grenada is strengthening ties with Venezuela and Cuba, and as China expands its diplomatic presence on the island. While the State Department says the closure is part of a broader realignment, questions remain about the impact on U.S. influence and the services that will be available to citizens after more than 40 years of continuous embassy operations. For now, the U.S. Embassy in Grenada remains open, but its future remains uncertain. Reporting for GBN News, Shania McIntosh.
And that's all for the regional news package. Back to you, Shane.
Thank you, Sienna. Our final segment coming up right after the break. Stay with us.
Life is full of tough choices. This one shouldn't be one of them. Wait, 9 pieces for $35? That's crazy. But do I need KFC today? I mean, I had it. When did I last have KFC? Oh yeah, that was a good day. Okay, wait. If I don't buy it, someone else will. And what if they take the last bucket? Yep, right decision. Definitely right decision.
KFC Crazy Tuesday, because some deals are too good to resist.
Massey Stores Waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Store, City Store, or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and Ring-a-Ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Welcome back. Before we end tonight's broadcast, here's our update. A new report from UNAIDS has revealed that global progress in the fight against HIV has reached its strongest point in more than 3 decades. According to the report, new HIV infections and AIDS-related deaths are now at the lowest levels in over 30 years. 7 countries, Benin, Eswatini, Kenya, Lesotho, Nepal, Rwanda, and Zimbabwe, have reduced new HIV infections by nearly 80% since 2010, while 11 countries have achieved the UNAIDS 95-95-95 treatment targets. The report also highlights major advances in HIV prevention, including long-acting injectable medications that offer protection comparable to vaccines. Monthly and 6-month injections are becoming available, while monthly preventative pills are in the final stages of clinical trials. Brazil, Ethiopia, Uganda, and South Africa have also expanded access to HIV prevention medicines through increased funding and pricing agreements. Global health partners are now working to make the twice-yearly injectable drug lenacapavir available to 3 million people by 2028. UNAIDS Executive Director Winnie Bayan-Mia says ending AIDS remains within reach if governments and international partners maintain their commitment to prevention, treatment, and global cooperation. With that, we come to the end of our primetime newscast. On behalf of the entire Choice TV family, thank you for staying with us. Stay tuned for more quality programming on Choice TV.